Alright everyone, time to take a look at the second episode of the day, which is Genesis. The scene opens with two Hive soldiers contending him about how much you have to fear Dark. Dark enters, with Andy Diggle, Merlin, and Murmur close by. Subsequent to affirming that the remainder of Hive kept Genesis on target without him, he slaughters two individuals who were sitting tight for him and afterward scares the remainder of Hive, going to, for all intents and purposes, by video conference. At the sanctuary, Alfred discovers that these two operators have been slaughtered, and uncovers that he's been making a beeline for Hub City to meet with Vipano and Constantine to prepare and guard against enchantment. The outing is clearly very hazardous, so he's going alone, and the remainder of the group is going to take the end of the week to rest up. Thea, specifically, will leave town with Alex. At Argus, Lila welcomes John, who has stayed with her. She's not excited about being in defensive guardianship with Sarah. However, Diggle places fundamental says wherever else they may go is undermined by his sibling. He takes out to get things done and get diapers. Felicity stays with Oliver in his cellar room, where he's getting ready for his outing. He reveals to her that he doesn't have a clue where this way will lead, and like the fact that there's no length he won't go to vindicate Laurel. Felicity has energized up the organization's dream and is anticipating accompanying him. Subsequent to picking up his diapers, Diggle gets a book saying the facial acknowledgement program has got hit on his sibling. Rather than call for reinforcement, he heads to an apartment where Andy attempts to firearm him down, diverting him by conjuring Laurel, and afterward flees. When Diggle gets nailed down close to a forest plant, he calls for reinforcement from Argus over complaints from Lila. In Hub City, Oliver heads to go to Underground Club with Felicity, who takes him up at the blackjack table where Constantine invites Oliver to hang tight for him. On their excursion at the end of the week, Thea wakes to find Alex missing. She's concerned that he's simply on the first floor making breakfast. The two kiss. At the gambling club, Felicity's coming out on top consistently and advances some cash to a lady 2 seats down, who distinguishes herself as the lady Oliver is searching for. Diggle discovers a sibling, however gets took out and taken prisoner by Andy and his shrouded fortifications. Diggle awakens bind to a roof in his cellar, with Andy revealing to him that Dark is in transit. It says he's intended to prep John and uncovers a variety of torment devices. After John begins shouting at him, Andy cuts him. Enter Fortuna at the club uncovers that she's an undying shaman. She brings Oliver through an entryway, and they show up an enormous chamber where there's heaps of candles that assemble like Dark's. Fortuna uncovers that there is a path for Oliver to channel the intensity of light and expectation so as to repulse Dark's passing filled enchantment. Oliver says he's discovered that. Fortuna says that if the dimness inside him overwhelms the light, he'll feel Dark's enchantment as opposed to repulsing it. On their excursion, Thea can't get a phone signal. Alex is satisfied that they're separated. However, Thea can't shake the inclination that where they are is excessively great. She hears a sound and gets stressed, befuddling Alex. She just feels like the nature sounds around them are on a circle. However, Alex is attempting to talk her down and persuade her simply to be upbeat. He kisses her. Somewhere else, the two ghosts try to Diggle down from his good humor. However, he figures out how to utilize some of the cutting edges from the torment table to execute them and after bind his sibling to an entryway. He takes Andy's firearm and holds it on him, yet he doesn't pull the trigger, saying that he's as yet human. In the underground chamber, Fortuna is saying to hit Oliver with a low portion of Dark's capacity. Oliver thinks about whether he needs a symbol or icon or something, and she's close to him that the tattoo Constantine gave him will do the trick. She hits him with a low portion of intensity and is ready to repulse it by concentrating the light inside himself. When she hits him with a higher portion, he goes inside his brain and sees himself battling a League of Assassin part. At that point, Deathstroke. At that point, Dark. He shrieks all the horrible things that transpired since the island. When it comes out of the daze, he's thumped over. Fortuna says he has an excess of haziness inside him to succeed, and she asks what she might instruct Oliver that would change what he saw. She says there's nothing she can accomplish for him. He understands that she doesn't have the foggiest idea where Alex said they were going for getaway. She goes on Truman Show on him, uncovering that she knows the example of the clamors outside. When Alex takes out certain nutrients, she remembers them some medications Marilyn used to keep herself satisfied, frenzies, and leaves. At the holding where Lila is remaining with Sarah, She shouts at Diggle when he returns. She cautions him that he's not acting like the man she wedded, yet the man she separated. She advises him to carry Andy to equity the correct way, and Diggle says he will. At the club, Oliver says Fortuna is correct. The issue is with him, not with the enchantment. He understands he's continually going to return to the individual who became on the island, much the same as Felicity said when she dumped him. This discloses to him he's off base and that she wasn't right when she said that everybody can change. Back in the cell where Andy is tied up, Dark shows up and opens him, uncovering this was the arrangement from the beginning and they're following Diggle. In the tractor trailer where Lila is being held, Diggle understands there's something incorrectly only minutes before Andy and a hive truck dispatches a rocket at them. The rocket doesn't stop the truck, however Andy keeps on terminating endlessly at the vehicle, flanked by apparitions, while Lila calls for reinforcement. Diggle can't get hold of Team Arrow and Hive has assaulted Ark as Central Command has him drawn in there. However, the truck thunders to a stop when Dark remains before them in the road. Lila's persuaded that she's his objective, not Diggle, and needs to take the infant and run. Diggle does as such, detaching on a bike and drawing endlessly the ghosts, while Dark himself remains behind. Lila executes all the ghosts left with him, however Dark kidnaps her. They send out toward the children's playpen and goes against Sarah, and she's now gone with Diggle and all Dark uncovers is a reserve of weapons. In the lanes of the city, Ghost on bike and a protected truck pursue Diggle. He had her ticket on when Felicity appears in the van, saying Oliver is managing Lila and Dark. It's all sending Ghost as Andy, and Diggle takes a cruiser to follow him. On the truck, Dark is going to murder Lila until Oliver shows up to bring them down. Dark dismisses him with enchantment, yet Oliver doesn't take long to get up. Diggle discovers Andy, pounding him and holding a weapon on him, at that point holding off on executing him. On the truck, Dark has nearly beat Oliver when Oliver figures out how to pulse his enchantment. The two tumble to the ground, and Dark escapes before Ollie can get up. Somewhere else, Andy reveals to Diggle that whatever occurs, he continues to be in prison and will threaten Diggle's family until the end of time. At long last, after enough prodding, Diggle shoots Andy. Shutting Andy's eyes, Diggle's lit up with lament when Oliver shows up, disclosing that Lila is fine, however oblivious. Diggle tells Oliver that he did what he needed to do to protect Lila and Sarah. At the sanctuary, Oliver's agonizing when Felicity comes in. He's stressed over Thea. He asks Felicity regarding repulsing Dark, saying that he had the option to do it since he heard Felicity's voice in his mind helping him to remember all the beneficial things he has throughout everyday life. They'd heard the reminder of Group Arrow, including Laurel, instructing him to have expectation and continue battling. When Lila awakens, Diggle reveals to her that Sarah is fine, that he needed to slaughter Andy. He reveals to her that Andy went after his firearm, so he doesn't need to disclose to her it was her and Sarah that spurred him to execute. Lila alarms, uncovering a scar on her arm. She had put away the Rubicon program in a drive under her skin, which Dark had detected. She goes on that its ballistic dispatch supersede convention intended to keep any nation from propelling an atomic assault. Dark then needs to utilize it to dispatch rockets. Rubicon, they understand, is Dark's adaptation of the biblical flood. This considers what Dark is anticipating utilizing as his arc. The important response, obviously, is the unpleasant Stefford town where Alex and Thea are. She understands that she's caught when she sees a few ghosts, attempting to run from them, above himself in an imperceptible divider. Interesting. So let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. To promote the episode, a short comic was released. This is the only episode of Season 4 that has no flashbacks at all, unlike the past 3 seasons, which all have an episode primarily focusing on flashbacks. After Felicity runs a ghost over the van to save Diggle and Sarah, she states, "It's been a while since I've done that." This refers to the Season 2 episode Streets of Fire, where Felicity rammed into Isabel Rochev with a van to rescue Diggle. When Diggle warns Team Arrow that Genesis is coming, Felicity quips, "I doubt it. Phil Collins said they never tour again." This refers to the English rock band Genesis, in which Phil Collins was a drummer and singer. The title refers to the project, which is the endgame of Hive and Damien Dark. So overall, I really enjoyed this episode, and yeah, let's just say that things are definitely coming to a head in the next few episodes, so yeah. So overall, I give Genesis 4 arrowheads out of 5. When we tune in as we talk to the final episode of the day, Monument Point. So, until then, In the words of Oliver Queen, you have failed this city.